Yeah, but this is the future. I mean,
The future,
this is what's going
right.
on. We tried it with Homegrown. In fact, in the 17th of September, we should have it with Xerox, with their partners, including. I think what she is doing is more sophisticated than what we do currently, and that's why it's good learning for us, definitely.
Did you get your inspiration from World Cafe?
World Cafe, it's different. I do World Cafe as well, and I wanted to talk about World Cafe maybe the next time. But I think that this is different. I mean, I know both the approaches, and we use them for different purposes.
Could you just give us a thumbnail of what this other approach is?
World Cafe? Well, it's just, it normally deals with one idea as opposed to many ideas. But you would take an idea that it hinges on an interesting question. So, for example, we did a project with the Heart Foundation in Australia, which was becoming irrelevant in the marketplace. They were all medical people, and they were too scared to say anything for fear of saying the wrong thing. So the question was, how will this organisation remain relevant into the future? And so we pulled together about 20 strategists who gave their time for free. And you sit in a room with this one question, and there'd be 4 tables of 5 or 5 tables of 4, and they would sit there and discuss this. One person is a scribe,
Yeah.
and
It's written down.
he writes down on the butcher's paper on the table everything that the 4 people discuss around this issue. After 20 minutes or so, you mix them all around, but the scribe stays in the same spot. So you get 3 other different people talking to him, and the scribe says, or she says, this is what we talked about. And the other
Sort
say,
of legacy of the table.
we talked about that, but we also mentioned this, or we didn't talk about that at all, but that's really interesting, but that connects with this idea, and you have the conversation again, and then you might do it a 3rd time.
Yeah.
And so on the butcher's paper though, for example, we had the question, how will this organisation remain relevant into the future? Collected all these conversations, analysed them, came up with 6 platforms. And then 2 weeks later, we ran another World Cafe where we got all the creative people together. And it was, given that these are the 6 core ways to move forward, how would you go about communicating that? And so we generated 300 ideas around those core platforms. So the idea is just that 5 tables, mixing people up. The idea came from the French Revolution, apparently, that the French Revolution was fomented in the cafes. And people would talk, then they'd go and have another conversation, they'd have another conversation. The next thing they stormed the Bastille and changed France forever.
What was the name again? The what?
World Cafe.
World Cafe.
And
World
it's
Cafe.
an open source stuff. You can Google it.
Yeah, you can Google it anytime.
World
Cafe.
As in
Yeah.
World, big world.
WRL.
WORLD.
And World Cafe.
There is literatures or things like that.
Yeah, but somebody has to tell you how to do it. And okay, let's present it next time. I was thinking about
But
it
I
to
love-
present next time the World Cafe because
I love
it's
what you've
something
done.
else.
It's good, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And when we do the World Cafe, this is the type of workshop that allows you to express yourself with the help of drawing and I don't know, sticking pictures and in a more creative way. I mean, here we do not necessarily draw.
No.
Here we put our mind into action.
Yes.
And World Cafe, it's more artistic, let's say.
But there's lots of, you've used a couple of different ideas in your workshop that work really well. But there's even more ideas, and there's prioritisation exercises you can do and add into it, and build strategies and all sorts. It's important. But I think it's the future, Sammy.
Yeah.
I think, and
But-
so
but
for all of us, it would be good to share all our ideas on it.
In fact, we are doing it, but not out of literature, because my question is, if there is literature relating to those 2 ideas, in fact, this one and the World Cafe.
This one you will find very little literature.
Yeah.
That's why I explained you step by step, because it's almost not there on the net.
Yeah. So it's kind of new things. But what we are using, in fact, is the facilitation techniques. in doing that, and usually it's a smaller group. It's marketing with advertising, market research, so it's much smaller group, and it's more of sharing the knowledge of research, and then facilitating the discussion of how to make, what kind of decisions to be made, and how to refine it, and things like that. But definitely those two kinds of idea, I'll search more about it, because I know for sure that the client reaction is extremely overwhelming. That's what they don't have time. Now the brand manager, if you look at him, he is working alone.
Yes.
And he is interacting with all the different outside suppliers and all the departments inside. And he has this whole responsibility, so he needs all the help we can give. And that's opportunity. This is really market opportunity for us.
Yes. Lucy, as a client,
That's true.
what do you think?
I agree with you. Every day we have less time. However, we have to find new techniques to find these insights. So I have never heard honestly about the World Cafe and this technique. I have already Googled, and I hope soon I'm going to put it in practice. But I think it's a great opportunity, a different way of catching what is in
The essence,
in the essence. Yes.
to put it in practice.
Alice, I just have one question. How much involvement does the facilitators or the moderator in helping them to generate the ideas?
Preferable not that much, otherwise he tends to bias the final output. But rather the facilitator has the job, as I presented you, I showed you at the beginning, to set the mood. It's very important, otherwise the things will be so and so, risk to be flat. And to explain them and encourage them very well, that they are able to discover the insights, because this is a milestone and a limitation in the same time from their part that we have to take care about. And of course, along the day, as a facilitator, you have to look over what's happening in the workshop room and give explanation rather than get involved in what they are really working. Give support if you want. If there are misunderstandings or confusions or I don't know, some sort of freeze moments, and make sure that everyone is moving, okay, is going ahead towards the end of the workshop. And of course, you have to make a really nice pop-up and make everybody feel rewarded by their participation. Okay.
So it's more of a process guidance, process moving with the motivation and to keep the momentum, but not interfering in the
No.
discussion.
At the beginning, when I was asked to do this and to put it in practice and to come up with a fine-tuned version, I had doubts myself that I can do it, even if I moderate for so long, and I have, I would say, much experience on this field of qualitative research. So I asked myself and the client, do you think that I really can do it? And afterwards, it worked well. We started to use it, and moreover, we invested in our own facilities for workshops, premises workshops. Yeah, Catalina.
We have also used it, the World Cafe, and I would say two things. One is formulating the right questions.
The right
is
question.
absolutely key, because you have a big topic that you want to talk about, but there are questions that are guiding the people to